Man. Top of the evening, man. It was one of those days today, man. One of those days. But I think that I am growing and I am able to control temp, my aggression. Because today I was tested. I don't want to say that I wasn't tested, but today, if you was on that live stream, you seen it, man. I held my composure though. I really did. I was like, yo, but you know what it is? I think I'm older and I'm wiser, right? I'm older and I'm a lot wiser. But man, I think that was a test today. Cause overall I had a great day. A great day. Great weekend. Long extended weekend. Tomorrow's back to the regime, right? I was supposed to be on a lot earlier. I wanted to do, you know, Jeffrey Dahmer's live. Jeffrey Dahmer. This is a Jeffrey Dahmer's live. Now, for whatever reason, they got the wrong brand, so I don't have none of my actual videos on here. I don't know. Streams every once in a while, StreamYard gets a little goofy like that. Yeah, watch your mouth, man. Like I don't know what's up with you with all this cursing. I don't know what's up with you. Nah, you need to fall back. But let me try to get my background. Let me see. Hold on, man. This isn't it, man. Where are my? Hold on. Shout out to CW. CW tapped in mad early. He probably was waiting for me to come on, and I never made it on, man. I got paid for that order. We got paid, but we didn't get to do the whole order. We didn't even do the order because it got canceled, but we still got paid. Not what we was supposed to, right? Shout out to Champ Side. Look, this is the only one. Champ 5, not Champ Side, Champ 5.
Hey you. I'm Champ 5, and shout out to the Source Talk podcast. You already know what it is. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, that is Champ 5. Let me use this one right here. Let me see something. We'll use this tonight, man. How's that look? Y'all see that or not? Y'all don't see that, right? That's some BS, man. That's some old BS. That was some BS, man. All right, but we're gonna talk about Jeffrey Dahmers. The Jeff Dahmerster, right? The Jeffrey Dahmers. Are you guys familiar with Jeffrey Dahmer's story? Right? This guy was a serial killer, killed 17 people in the Milwaukee area, mainly black. He was taking out a lot of blacks, man. Gay, homosexual blacks, bringing them to his crib and having his way with them. Right? Literally having his way with them. Um, yes, he raped the. Well, we're gonna get to all of that. He raped a 14-year-old boy. He was sick, and then he killed them. But the thing that's crazy is this guy was doing these things, right? And he was getting away with. He had went to the army. Here it is, right here. We will be using that. We will be using this. It's 17 minutes, so we will be stopping and going. Smash the like button, man. Come up in here, shout out your section. Now I know some of y'all may be over here looking for some boxing. We'll be in the gym tomorrow, man. I'm just letting the guys know guys that do it, right? On the internet, do it, do it, do it, do it, right? You guys do it, do it, do it, right? That's what you guys do on the internet. So I'm gonna just do my content, man. I did me and my man, my brother, we did a fire live stream. I'm gonna put out some of those shorts tonight. I'm gonna be up. I'm gonna put some of those shorts out tonight. We did a fire live stream. I got a new setup. Michael Jackson, the Prince, both. You know, they the both the goats, man. Prince was my guy, man. Prince was my guy. Yeah, right. Yeah, if my brother was here, my brother, right? Yeah, we used to go to the games, right? Yeah, they got Prince, man. Yo, quick before I get into the thesis of the night, right? Since you brought that up, right? Yeah, you know that song, right? Because you know the sayings, man, about the music industry. That they be taking these guys' manhood, right? Yo, you remember the song that Prince had? How the song starts up? And he be like, right? Yo, if my brother was over here, yo, he go crazy over that, right? Because I used to be like, yo, because my brother was a rapper. He liked to rap. And I'd be like, yo, fam, don't get done like Prince, man. Don't get done like Prince, man. The music industry plays no games, man. They're gonna slide up in you, man, like, right? And every time we used to go to the games, right? Yo, all of the franchises play the Brooklyn Nets, the Knicks, they all use that. You don't have to be rich to be my. You know how that song starts? So he be like, right? Yeah, they got him, man. But I rock out with both Prince and Michael Jackson, man. So I can't really choose, man. Shout out to the 8 that was in the building, man. Y'all slid out, huh? Hopefully y'all hit the light button. We're gonna get to this Jeffrey Dahmer's, man. Now Jeffrey Dahmer's was sick. He was sick, and he got murdered from a black inmate, busting him up with a weight, did him dirty as he should have, right? But this guy took out a lot of blacks, and it was sick. It was sick, and look, we're gonna explore the mind of a demonic sicko, because that's what he was. He was a demonic sicko, man. Content, right?
Imagine being able to build an app with your
Let
name
me know
on
if y'all can hear this and see this, man. All right. All right.
it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI.
Yet, he was clever.
I took two things that I love, dancing and dogs,
Rhythm, the
and I made
rebel.
them into a successful business.
Let me know if y'all can see
Hi,
this.
I'm Ronnie.
7 in the
I'm the owner
building.
of Ketatov, and I
Do
teach
you
people
read chat?
all over the world how to dance with their dogs
Do
on my
you
website.
read chat? Did I just read your chat?
I was
Do you
searching
leave
for a
gifts?
platform
Leave
where I
some
can
gifts.
really manage my business. A
What
place
gift
that
over
can
here?
help
I need
me
a gift now. You
share
want to
my
ask if I
knowledge
read
and
chat?
create a community around
I
dog
read
parks.
super
And
chat,
I found that in weeks.
right?
I have 4
Refresh the
dogs,
super chat.
Bailey,
I need $20 in the
Visit
cash app.
Jeffrey Dahmer for this interview. I want.
This is Nancy Glass. This interview was conducted in 1993. I was 14 years old.
Oh, really?
I was 14 years old in 1993. This is a classic. This is Nancy Glass. She from the Inside Edition. Now she interviewed a sick mind, but he was very intelligent, very very intelligent, man. His IQ, yes, he was in the military, in the army, right? Now he caught a body. Listen, he caught a body and went to the army, right? He killed a hitchhiker, dismembered them. We're gonna get into all of that, man. We're gonna get into all of that. And when we get into all of that, I'm gonna be stopping and going, right? And feel free to comment. You know, this is a little different content, right? I know you guys We got to show our range over here, man. We did a gang banging one earlier, right? Yesterday, I believe that was. So now we'll show a different killer, right? We're a different killer. Smash the like button. How is the content looking now? Well, this is Nancy Glass, Inside Edition, Jeffrey Dahmer's.
wondered what he would tell me, how hard it would be to get him to discuss his horrific crimes. What I found was that he was very forthcoming. He volunteered details that may be difficult to hear. I began by asking what he wanted from the men he picked up.
I had these obsessive desires and thoughts wanting to control them, to, I don't know how to put it, possess them permanently.
And that's why.
Yeah, he wanted to. You heard that? Look, he was sick. Yeah, he wanted to control them. Control them and possess them permanently. That is why he started to eat these people. He wanted to control them and possess them permanently. Thus, why he became to eat them, because now he possesses them, man. This guy was sick. A lot of you guys on this internet have that in you, but you don't have the heart. But maybe you do. That's why I keep a gun on me for mother effers like you.
Why you killed them.
Right.
Look.
Right. Not because I was angry with them, not because I hated them, but because I wanted to keep them with me. And as my obsession grew, I was saving body parts such as skulls and skeletons.
Jeffrey Dahmer is recalling his monstrous past. Almost 2 years ago, in this little apartment in Milwaukee, police discovered the grisly remnants of one of the most horrible crime sprees in American history. Jeffrey Dahmer, an unassuming chocolate factory worker, would eventually confess that he had seduced, murdered, and dismembered 17 young men.
17 young men over 13 years. 13 years, right? 17 bodies. This guy, a factory worker, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Remember, they had the they have a, I don't know if it's still on. It was on Netflix. They had a series on this guy. Good series, right? I watched it. But this is the actual interview from 1993 with Nancy Glass. Yes, Nancy Glass. Where she spoke to this sick fuck. Yes, he was a sick fuck. And he ultimately got his. But when he was murdered by his cellmate, he didn't even care if he lived or died. Because look, he took out 17 victims just to possess them and keep them.
He even ate some of his victims' body parts.
With AI,
you can create any character you want.
Now look at all of the
This used to require huge Hollywood budgets,
many
complex
black, many
software,
homosexual
and tons
blacks,
of time.
Man.
He instantly became the center of worldwide media attention, a serial killer unmasked. There were protests and press conferences in Milwaukee as people tried to understand how this could have happened in their midst. How did Jeffrey Dahmer get away with murder after murder for 13 years?
13 years.
How did a boy born into a...
Yeah, y'all remember, right? Like I said, I was 14 when this interview actually dropped in 93. But I remember, right, watching Def Comedy Jams and different things. And remember when this was big back then. They all was so, everybody wanted to get at Jeffrey. They was mad, but they knew not to run up on him. They knew not to run up. Jeffrey was a serial killer. He was sick. They wasn't running up on Jeffrey. Jeffrey ate people, man. He seduced them, got them drugged, high. And then he would kill him. He's gonna break down. I think it's gonna be his second victim, where he said he did not want to kill him. Right, the black guy. This is the black guy, one of the blacks. He used to go to the gay bars and, come off as one of theirs, as he was, and then he would bring them back to his apartment and murder them. But the second victim, he said he did not want to kill. He did not want to kill this guy. He simply wanted to enjoy him. But he said when he awoke, he didn't even realize that he beat the guy to death. He was all bruised up. This guy was sick, man. No disrespect, but there are many Jeffrey Dahmers that have not been discovered. Remember, this guy did it for 13 years. 13 years, man.
A hardworking middle-class family turn into the worst kind of monster imaginable. In this exclusive interview, we put those questions to Jeffrey Dahmer himself. We met with him at the maximum security prison where he is serving his sentence of 999 years. For the first time, he talks about his crimes and gives us a chilling look inside the mind of a serial killer.
It's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. When you depersonalize another person and view them as just an object for pleasure instead of a living, breathing human being, it seems to make it easier to do things you shouldn't do.
The reason why Jeffrey Dahmer was able to get away with it.
He wanted to possess them. They were objects. See his mentality? They were objects that he wanted to possess. He wanted to possess these people. They were objects. Objects. He didn't even view them as real bodies, living organisms. He just wanted to possess them. Jeffrey was sick.
His crimes was because of just what you are seeing here. Jeffrey Dahmer is intelligent and articulate.
Intelligent. See, he's intelligent. See, a lot of times people be thinking that killers are dumb. No, some killers are Hannibal Lecter. Very highly intelligent, articulate, calculated. This guy is going to catch a body, his first body, and go into the army and be low for like 9 years. Pay attention to this, man. Different type of content tonight, man.
That is what makes him so frightening. But if you listen carefully to his words throughout this interview, you realize it is a thin disguise.
You do sound, though, like the kind of person who could have said to himself, "This is wrong. I must stop."
I always knew that it was wrong, but after the first killing was not planned. I was coming back from the shopping mall back in 78.
78, he caught his first body, y'all. But listen, he said it wasn't planned. It was planned. And I'm going to let him kick his ism, his devilism, and I'm going to tell you how not only was it planned, it was calculated.
I had fantasies about picking up a hitchhiker.
Fantasy.
And taking him back to the house and having complete control and dominance over him.
The hitchhiker's name was
There it is.
Stephen
No, wait.
Hicks.
So it wasn't planned, he said, but the first murder, but it was. Listen to what he said. He wanted complete control and dominance over him. That's what you did. You killed him. It was planned. In 1978, though, 78 was the first of 17 bodies. 78.
He was just 18. Jeffrey Dahmer took him to his parents' house. There, he strangled him with a barbell. He dismembered the body and hid it in a drain pipe. It was Jeffrey Dahmer who gave those details to the police. in his confession.
No one had a clue as to what was happening for over a decade.
During that time, Jeffrey Dahmer joined the army and was sent to Germany. He was eventually discharged for a drinking problem and returned to Ohio.
Yo, look. He had a drinking problem. Go figure. Right? That 18-year-old that he murdered. You possessed him. You strangled him. He was haunting you. You had a drinking problem. Right? 18-year-old that you murdered. Look at him right here. This is him in the army. Drink binges. Passing out, man. He couldn't run from what he had done. Right? He could not run from what he had done. He killed an 18-year-old hitchhiker that he always wanted to do. Remember what he said? I just wanted to possess them. You possessed him. You strangled him. Ended his life. 1978. Got away with it.
9 years after Stephen Hicks' murder, the killing began again.
What happened to you in the 9 years in between that you were able to stop, that you were able to control yourself?
Just wasn't an opportunity to fully express what I wanted to do. There was just not the physical opportunity to do it then.
See? That's why I said he's telling you got to read between the lines. Right? For 9 years, he got low because there was not an opportunity. He wanted to get away with it again. And he did. 16 bodies, man. The motherfucker, come on. Unless, I don't know, maybe in Milwaukee they didn't give a fuck. They was just like, yo, 16 more.
And I started, when I moved to Milwaukee in 81.
He was plotting.
I started reading pornography, going to the bookstores. Eventually that led to frequenting the gay bars. And then
man. That's why, listen, when these guys come over here and I get very, very like, yo, get them up out of here, man. Because these are these guys right here. This is why I'm doing this live stream tonight, man. And I don't care who this offends. This is educational purposes. It's a lot of these sick fucks out there. They hide on this internet, but they can't hide no more. You heard what he said? Pornography, homosexual tendencies, right? This guy was sick, man. And he prayed. Look, that's why I tell a lot of you homosexuals, man, be careful. There's probably many Jeffrey Dahmers out there that already got a hold of many of y'all in that community. It just hasn't come out yet because they go after the vulnerable.
One time I brought this young man back to the hotel room, the Ambassador Hotel. Was just planning on drugging him and spending the night with him.
Drugging him and spending the night.
I had no intention of hurting him. When I woke up in the morning, he had a broken rib here. Was heavily bruised. Apparently, I had beaten him to death with my fists.
And you have no memory
I
of
have
it?
no memory of it. But that's what started the whole spree all over again.
Dahmer says he snuck the corpse of his victim, Stephen Toomey, out of his hotel room in a suitcase. Then he took it to his grandmother's house where he cut up the body and put it in plastic garbage bags.
When you killed these men, afterwards, were you repulsed? Were you upset?
No, at the time, it was almost addictive. It was almost a surge of energy. I wouldn't have to worry about any of their needs or anything. I just had complete control of the situation.
But Jeffrey Dahmer was out of control. The urge to kill had overpowered him. As police later learned, he wasn't satisfied with his victim's death. He wanted more.
Why did you photograph them?
It was my way of remembering their appearance, their physical beauty.
He photographed them. Yeah, they made movies about this. Like, if you think about Red Dragon is one of the, Hannibal Lecter sequels, prequels, and all those type of things. It's basically based on him. He photographs his victims, right? He photographed his victims because he wanted to remember them. He wanted to remember them, man. He wanted to remember them. Hi, how you doing? What is your name? Soul France Christian 23. How you doing?
I also wanted to keep something. If I couldn't keep them there with me whole, at least I felt that I could keep their skeletons. And I even went so far as planning on setting up an altar with the 10 different skulls and skeletons.
And what was the purpose of the altar going to be?
As a sort of memorial. A point where I could, I don't know, it's so bizarre and strange, it's hard to describe. A place where I could collect my thoughts.
He was a soul snatcher. Look, he wanted to collect his thoughts around the skulls of those that he had taken their soul. He was a soul snatcher. He was sick, man. Jeffrey the Devil Dahmer.
And feed my obsession.
When the bodies were still in your apartment, there was no time when you would see them and say, this is grotesque. What have I done?
There were times, but the compulsive obsession with doing what I was doing overpowered any feelings of revulsion.
Manipulator who was able to lure strangers he met at gay bars to his apartment. He was even able to con the police into returning a 14-year-old boy to him after neighbors called 911 upset that the child was in the street naked and bleeding. Dahmer convinced the police that he and the boy were simply having a lover's quarrel.
Yo, 14 years old. This is what I say, man. 14 years old. Bloodied, running around naked in the streets. They returned him to this man. How? How did you return him to him at 14 years old? He's a minor. Jeffrey Dahmer wasn't his guardian. But listen to what they said. A 14-year-old, you're having a lover's quarrel with a 14-year-old. That didn't raise a red flag? He's 14 years old. He's a minor. What is he doing with this grown man? That's his lover. That's his lover.
The intoxicated boyfriend of another boyfriend.
How old was this child?
He wasn't a child. He was an adult.
After the police left, Jeffrey Dahmer murdered that boy, Conorak Synthesum phone. This man says he had a near-fatal encounter with Jeffrey Dahmer.
He wanted to take some picture of my back. He hit me with a rubber hammer on my neck.
He was lucky to escape because by then the killing had become almost routine.
Y'all caught that one, man? Yeah, he was preying on the homosexuals, man. He got this guy. They had the camera dark so you could, I guess for his privacy. But he lured him into the apartment to take pictures, and he busted him in the back with a hammer. But he was able to escape. He hit him with a rubber hammer, man. Man, Jeffrey was sick, man. Yo, but I think now I'm gonna say alleged. Yo, they knew what he was doing, man. They just didn't give a F. They was letting this guy rock and roll. That's what I think, man. 13 years. 13 years, man.
You went out to pick up a man. Was there any kind of ritual you went through?
I go to the nightclubs, drink, watch the striptease shows, and if I didn't meet anyone at the bars, I'd go to the bath clubs and meet someone there, offer them money, and we'd go back to the apartment, have a few drinks. I'd have the sleeping pill mixture already prepared. Person would drink it, fall asleep.
And that was it.
And that's when they would be strangled.
Watching the movie...
Yeah, that was it right there. You see how he did him? See how he did him? Get him to the crib. The mixture was already ready. Slip them they drink. They fall asleep, and it was over. He strangled them to death. But a lot of these guys were always missing, right? They were always missing. Nobody was putting two and two together that this was the last person they was with. See, he was preying on the forgotten motherfuckers that nobody really cares about. But at some point in time, you gotta be like, yo, what's this dude really doing, right? If you ever watched the documentary, right? Where he lived at, he like kind of lived in the hood, right? But all his neighbors, right? They seeing all these different random guys, one hitter quitters basically, right? Going into his spot and never returning out. Come on, that didn't raise a red flag, man. That didn't raise a red flag.
Exorcist 3 was also part of his ritual. It put him in the mood for murder.
I felt so hopelessly evil and perverted that I actually derived a sort of pleasure from watching that tape.
Did you like feeling evil?
No, I didn't. But I tried to overcome the thoughts, and it worked for a while, but eventually I gave in.
While Jeffrey Dahmer may say things today that make it seem like he understands what went on in his mind, he does not. All he can do is tell you what happened, but he cannot stop whatever it is that drove him to kill in the first place.
Do you still feel those same urges? Do you still feel that compulsion, that obsession?
I wish I could say that it just left completely, but no, there are times when I still do have the old compulsions.
Jeffrey Dahmer says as time went on, his mind became more and more warped, and yet he was clever enough to continue to elude police and lure young men to his apartment. We should warn you, the details are very graphic.
I started having these obsessive thoughts when I was about 15 and 16, and they got worse and worse.
What were your fantasies about?
They were sexual fantasies of control, power, complete dominance.
Control, complete dominance, man. So he was a homosexual killer. He wanted to control and be dominant over homosexual men, right? Since the time he was 15, he had this sickness of wanting to possess and control men, other men. I mean, I took a little bit of your drink. You know, I'm doing content, and my throat was dry. Speaking of this devil, Jeffrey, the Devil Dahmer.
It became reality.
Was there pleasure in that fantasy?
There was excitement, fear, pleasure, all mixed together.
Jeffrey Dahmer fulfilled his fantasies by murdering and dismembering 17 young men.
17.
In time, his desires became more extreme, his deeds more grotesque. Listen to him talk about the most unnatural things in the most matter-of-fact of ways. That's when you realize that none of it has touched him.
I was branching out. That's when the cannibalism started, eating of the heart and the arm muscle. It was a way of making me feel that they were a part of me.
See? I highlighted that earlier. That's why he was eating these people. Because he wanted them to be a part of him. He was eating them. Yo, dude was sick, man. He was sick, man. So a lot of you homosexuals, y'all be careful, man. Y'all be careful, man. That's why I be telling, I don't play those games, man. When y'all be coming in my chat with all that, no disrespect, but respectfully, y'all come off as a Jeffrey Dahmer type to me. Because, and this is, you know, me kicking the sauce, right? If you are a homosexual man, and to each his own, that's what you prefer. But to just openly come out and hit on another man, and you don't know he goes that way, but you're hitting on him like that, you got that sick Jeffrey Dahmer's trait in you, respectfully. That's how I feel. And that's why I'll be like, yo, man, get up out of here with that, bro. Because that's how I view you. That's why I did this Jeffrey Dahmer's live tonight. Because when I watch this, and I hear him talk about being young and fantasizing and having all these things about another man, that's a lot of you guys on the low. Whether you are sick as demonic as wanting to kill, that's in you. I don't know. But you have this Jeffrey Dahmer tendency of wanting to be with another man.
First, it was just curiosity, and then it became compulsive. Then I tried to keep the person alive by inducing a zombie-like state, by injecting first dilute acid solution into their brain or hot water, and it never did completely work.
Could someone like you be stopped? Could you be helped?
No, I
yeah, you peeped that? He was on the Hannibal Lecter. He was trying to keep them high or doped up or zombied up. I'm just saying high or doped up. But zombied up, yo, dude was really sick, man. He was sick. He was a sick fuck.
I was dead set on going with this compulsion. It was the only thing that gave me any satisfaction.
He became so warped by his evil impulses that he even took a victim's head with him to work at the Ambrosia Chocolate Factory.
I kept...
Yo, look, how is he pulling all that off, man? He was at the chocolate factory in Milwaukee with a dead head. Nobody smelt that shit. Nobody was like, yo, man, what you got in the bag, Jeff? He was just cool like that, huh? He was just smuggling heads into work. Like, yo, I'm telling you, man, this shit is deeper and darker than what people really think, man. 13 years, 17 bodies, man. He was just randomly picking up homosexual men at the nightclubs. They was just disappearing with him, never to be found and heard from again. And nobody was like, yo, well, they left with Jeff. You know, Jeff is paying these guys. He's bringing them to the crib to take photos. None of that, man. It was just letting this dude just take out random homosexual black men in Milwaukee.
The mummified head and skull of one of the victims in a carrying case in my locker at work.
Were you almost flaunting it?
Yes, but that's how strong the compulsion was. That's how bizarre the desire was. I wanted to keep something of the person with me.
Jeffrey Dahmer exhibited some disturbing behavior early on. He began drinking heavily as a teenager, dropped out of college, was arrested for indecent exposure, disorderly conduct, and fondling a 13-year-old boy. Tragically, one of his murder victims would be that boy's brother. Do you know what?
Yo. Once again, we got to stop and highlight. This dude they was letting him get away with this shit, man. He was pulling all of these stunts as a teen. No flags raised. No flags raised, man. How's that possible, man? How was that possible? But hey, what do I know, man?
What started it? Was there any kind of incident that you can remember?
To this day, I don't know what started it. And the person to blame is sitting right across from you. That's the only person. Not parents, not society, not pornography. I mean, those are just excuses.
His macabre 13-year crime spree finally ended when this man, Tracy Edwards, brought the police to the infamous apartment. Like the others, he had gone there with the promise of money.
He was listening to my heart because at a point he told me he was going to eat my heart at that point. I hit him and I ran.
What was the turning point for
remember that in the what's name? Tracy Edwards. Tracy Edwards was the one homosexual that was able to escape. And when he brought the police back, the 13-year run was over. But Tracy was the one victim that was able to escape. Tracy Edwards. Tracy Edwards. He testified in court, but he was the savior that was able to break away from this guy. I wish you could see my setup in here right now. I have Coach Reen in here and also Daffy. I kind of hooked the lounge studio up right now. We be chilling, right? That's why I said I'm gonna do the Dahmer just to calm down, cause y'all see my live stream that I did earlier, and almost one left, man. But like I said, I have learned to control the rage.
Realized that you had done something terribly wrong, something you should be sorry for.
It was the night of the arrest. I have no memory of what happened during the 6 hours before the last victim ran out of the apartment. I heard a knock on the door, and the police were there with the last victim. They asked me where the key was to the handcuffs. My mind was in a haze. I sort of pointed to the bedroom, and that's where they found the pictures. And they yelled, "Cuff him!" And I was
cuff him. The pictures, like, this dude was in the hood, in that hood apartment, with bodies, evidence. It was just, man, 13 years, 17 victims. Luckily, Tracy Edwards would have been the 18th, was able to escape. Had he not escaped, this guy probably would have just been killing and killing and killing.
Handcuffed. And it was just the realization that there was no point in trying to hide my actions anymore. The best route was to help the police identify all the victims and just make a complete confession.
When it was revealed that most of the victims were black or homosexual, people in Milwaukee were incensed. Many felt that was why he went after them and why the police didn't seem to care when their families reported them missing.
10 of your 17 victims were black. Were they racially motivated?
It was not racially motivated. It was not sexual preference. It was just to find an obsession with
they were easy
the
targets.
best-looking young man I could find.
While you just heard him say that his sexual preference had nothing to do with the killings, he has not come to terms with his homosexuality.
Never understood it. There was no use trying to fight it because I couldn't rid myself of it. It was too powerful and persistent.
Do you dislike it?
Yes, it's caused a lot of problems for me. A lot of conflict.
So look, he killed homosexuals. That's basically what he's trying to say is he was killing homosexuals because he hated the fact that he was homosexual. Yo, y'all better be careful, man. Yo, be careful. This is the reason why I did this live stream, man. Watch out for these sick individuals like this. This dude had a infatuation with men. Because he was a homosexual killer. But he did not want to come to terms with the reality of who he was, a homosexual.
And unanswered questions.
The conflicts remain with him, and so do his compulsions. But in prison, he finally cannot act on his savage desires.
If you were out on the street now, would you still be committing the crimes?
Probably. If this hadn't happened, there's no doubt I probably would be. I can't think of anything that would have stopped me.
So, man, nothing that would have stopped you. Thank God Tracy Edwards was able to escape. He was able to escape, man, and bring this demon, yes, this demon, to justice. That was 1993, man. 1993. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this source tonight. You know, just switched it up, man. Just switched it up, man. Jeffrey Dahmer's serial killer. 10 out of the 17 victims were African American, man. Remember, he stayed in the heart of the hood of Milwaukee, man. The heart of the hood of Milwaukee, man. The heart of the hood in Milwaukee, man. But hopefully, y'all enjoyed the source. You know, a little bit of different content, man. That was the source breakdown of a serial killer, Jeffrey the Devil Dahmer's. Yo, Daffy, you kicking it there tonight? You kicking it there, Jack? You just took Reen's spot, huh? That's Reen's spot, Daff. That's Reen's spot, Daff. Yo, Daffy just took Reen's spot. She just Debo Reen's spot, man. That's Reen's spot. But this has been the Source Experience. Jeffrey Dahmer's sick mind. He said if he did not get caught, he still would have been doing the do. You know, seducing, paying homosexual black men to come take pictures, and then drugging and ultimately murdering them. That's what he was doing. He was drugging and murdering homosexual black men.
And little boys.
A couple little boys. He had an infatuation with men. He had an infatuation with men.
He was gay?
He had an infatuation with men. Pornography. This is all the stuff that he said in this interview with Nancy Glass. Right? And ultimately, he was murdered, right, by his cellmate or another inmate. I don't know if it was his cellmate. I think it was his cellmate. It was his cellmate. Please be quiet.
Be quiet.
Yes, he died being beaten to death, right? Massive head injuries from Christopher Scarver, right? Christopher Scarver, that is who murdered him, right? I think they were cellmates, man, fellow inmate, right? On the morning of November 28th, 94, this is why I covered this too, 2 days ago, Scarver and a third inmate, Jesse, also a convicted murderer, were assigned to cleaning work detail in the prison gymnasium. The men were left unsupervised for a short period, during which armed himself with a 20-inch metal bar from the weight room. No, so it wasn't, I stand corrected. It was not his cellmate. Scarver confronted Dahmer with a newspaper clipping detailing his gruesome crimes. When Dahmer tried to escape, Scarver blocked him and fatally struck him twice in the head with the bar. Scarver then proceeded to kill Jesse Anderson in a separate locker room. Damn, he took both of them out, man. Now, him and Jesse Anderson, that's why I always got this messed up. They were on a work detail. So Jesse Anderson was just a casualty of war, so to say, right? He had nothing to do with nothing. He was just on the wrong work detail that day. He was disgusted by his crimes and believed Dahmer lack of remorse and unsettling behavior such as molding prison food into shapes resembling human body parts was disrespectful to the victims' families. He was convicted of both murders and received 2 additional life sentences. Jeffrey Dahmers. Yo, isn't that ironic? Because remember, his first victim, he strangled him with a barbell or some sort of a weight object, like for the weight room. And ultimately, he was murdered with something from the weight room. You know? But look, I got this in under an hour. I was trying to do it under an hour, and I did it. But salute. Tomorrow we are back on the clock. Maybe. I don't know. I might call out. Well, if you don't back up off me, nigga. If this nigga don't back up off me. Yeah, I wish you could see Daffy. Daffy just ran down on me. Nigga, if you don't back up off me, you're getting too comfortable in here. No, you're too comfortable in here, Daffy. But this is the Source Experience. Now, this isn't my normal setup, so I don't have my outros and intros, man. None of my drops is on this, man. So we just have to go back with Champ 5 and end the live.
Hey, you. I'm Champ 5, and shout out to the Source Talk podcast. You already know what it is. Let's go.